Buckle up, bitch. That's right. You are going through a tower moment, and sometimes it gets a little bumpy. I know it feels like everything's falling apart, but actually, it is falling into place. Things have to sometimes be ripped from their roots in order to plant new seeds. Whatever you just went through and you feel like you are literally losing everything, you have to allow that to be released to make space for what's actually yours under your divine right. You had to get what you kind of wanted so you could realize that you actually need more, that you actually aren't willing to settle, that you actually have to stay true to your standard instead of staying true to your temporary 3D reality. You want something, whether it's that career or that relationship, you truly desire something in full effect. Your higher self doesn't want halfway. She doesn't want almost. She doesn't want a half fraction. She wants a whole number. She wants what she wants in full effect. And I say she because I'm talking from a woman's point of view, because I don't know if you noticed I am a woman, but this applies to anyone. You needed to experience whatever the hell that was so that your threshold could be expanded. And instead of your higher self ripping you into a new reality, you are being gently massaged into a higher vibration so you can start having gratitude for this up level, because you're going about this in a way that's for your highest good and a path that is of least resistance. Whatever you just went through showed you that, yeah, you can be treated well. You can have more. You're allowed to receive more abundance, more love, more luxurious experiences, more opportunities, more fun, more pleasure. And so you allowed it in, your threshold expanded, and now you're realizing, and I want more. If I can do that, maybe I can really get that which I truly desire in full effect. No fractions, whole numbers. What's up, positive bitches? How are we doing today? If you're hearing this episode, then you are meant to be here. So keep listening on that Bitches Positive podcast. Sometimes we will laugh. Other times, baby, we're going to cry. But we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That is babe in true connection with herself, himself, human self. You know, I don't care what you are. If you want to expand, if you want to grow, you're welcome here. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. I just want you to know that if you are hearing these words, you are truly meant for a higher level of whatever you just went through. So if you just got fired, if you just left a job, if you just left a town, if you just left a friend group, if you just left a relationship, you are being ripped away from that right now because you are meant to have whatever that was, but on steroids, a higher level of it, where it actually gives you more fun, more love, more pleasure. We have to go through these tower moments where things are removed, where things are released in order to make space for what it is we actually want. The other day I was walking on the beach and this big bird came next to me and started walking along my path with me. And I was so happy with this big bird and me just trotting along our path. And eventually it stopped keeping pace with me. And what I heard was, people fall out of your reality when you start to evolve and they don't. And when you are fast tracking your spiritual evolution, your own growth, and people don't keep up, expect them to fall behind. Expect them to stay where they are in your past reality. I know if you're listening to this, you have a pull to want more. A higher standard, a higher level of life, a higher level of love. You want to experience all that God's green earth can give you. And you're going to. Because when you say no to less, you actually simultaneously are saying yes to more. And when this bird couldn't keep up with me anymore, and I have this channeled message come through, I just knew we needed to talk about soulmates, whether that is a friendship breakup, because I find those to be one of the hardest things to get through because you don't expect a friendship to end. Maybe you expect a relationship to either go towards marriage or a breakup, but with friendships, you think it's going to be forever. So whether you're leaving a city, a town, you're moving somewhere else, you're no longer a part of the group you used to be, or you're like me and you recently went through a breakup, you're listening to this for a divine purpose. And this is what you need to realize as a tool to help you move forward. Now, a couple of podcasts ago, I said that I really agreed with this statement, when you know, you know. And I still agree. When I met my ex that I just experienced, I literally felt so safe with him, so in alignment with him, and really happy about how grounded he was and how much better he was compared to everyone else that I really experienced. And I said, I now realize what they mean when they say, when you know, you know. And now that I've had even more time to reflect on this statement, I still agree with it. When you meet someone who is so down for you, who is willing to give you all of their self and more, and they really are looking to have a serious relationship with you, your body will know. You're going to feel calm. You're going to feel peace. You're going to feel like things are in alignment. If you're getting stressed, you're either losing, gaining weight because of this person, your skin is breaking out, you never feel safe and settled in the relationship, that's a sign that something isn't right. But just because something is right for one season doesn't mean it's going to be continuously right for the next. I want to expand on the sentiment of when you know, you know. I knew the relationship was right for me in that season. And then after a couple months, I knew that it wasn't. Yeah, when you know, you know. You know when it feels good to be with a person, and then you know when it's run its course. I still have love for this human because I know no man is my friend, no man is my enemy. Every single man is a portal to the next evolution of myself. So I see every single person I have dated as my little specimen. Get it? Specimen. And they're all teaching me so much. I can't hate any of these people because they have pushed me into pain that has then taught me. They pushed me to take back my power that then taught me. They have pushed me to realize my wounds, my strengths. How can I hate someone who's teaching me so much? When I realized that this relationship was running its course, I started to get sick. I started to feel really run down. And then we just had those conversations that I mentioned a couple of podcasts ago that really signified to me, this doesn't feel in alignment anymore. I'm broadening the term of when you know, because what does that even mean? When you know something's right, you're going to feel peace. You're going to feel grounded. You're going to feel like it's in alignment because it brings you joy, happiness. I'm not saying it's always going to be necessarily easy, but when you do go through these little lows, you know it's in service of something grander, this great love that you're building with this person. You'll also know when it's not right because your body will start to feel sick. You're going to start to feel like, wow, this doesn't feel like a little low that we have to get through. This feels like fundamental differences that we can't bridge. You're going to start to feel anxiety, possibly depression. When you know, you know. Your body's always communicating to you. It always wants to send you a message. And when you don't listen, it will get louder and louder and louder. And sometimes that's why we end up sick or in pain. I really want to talk about this concept of soulmates because I feel like we are so lied to about the nature of soulmates. So many of us have this feeling of, oh my God, this is my person. When you know, this is my soulmate. And then they leave our life. That doesn't mean that you're wrong. That doesn't mean your intuition was off. You might just be tripping over the type of soulmate that you just encountered. And today we're going to talk about the different types of soulmates that we encounter and how we can understand our reality to help us grow and move through these seasons. Before we get into it, I do have a couple of announcements. If you've not yet gotten your copy of Show Up As Her, be sure to get that in the description box. This is 10 Laws of Positive Bitchology. If you like this podcast, you're going to love this book. There are meditations, journal prompts, and it's all in one place, which makes it super easy to find any topic that you need guidance on, whether it's relationships or spiritually awakening, or maybe you just want to talk to one of your spirit guides. All of that and more is in Show Up As Her. If you're ready to take the next step in your evolution, join one of my courses. Shadow Alchemy is to help you transcend your shadow, bring it to the light so you can stop attracting the same type of people, so you can figure out what your hidden gifts are, and ultimately so you can feel better in your power and accept all of yourself instead of just pretending like you're just the nice girl, just the good girl. If you're dealing with a breakup, you're going through difficult emotions, you're going to want to either go for the Art of Alchemy course or the 21-day Breakup Glow Up Challenge. And if you're dating and you want to up the price on your presents, attract better partners, then you are going to want to get, also it's a total confidence booster, the Pedestal Path. I also have a plethora of different workbooks, the Calling Your Power Back workbook, Decoding the Divine, and a Divine Feminine workbook, of course. All of these will be in the description below. If you want to magnetize your dream reality, then you're going to want to get one of my magnetizing mugs. Every single morning, I sit with my magnetizing mug. I claim what it is I want to receive over my cup of coffee, my tea, and what do you know? It tends to manifest every single time. It actually is so divine. Also, just letting you know, I'm opening up my Magnetic Mastery program. This is a one-on-one program via Zoom where I help you step into your most empowered version of self. If you do want to learn more about that, follow me on Instagram at vibinwithcc and shoot me a DM with the word magnetic, and we will talk more there how I can assist you. Let's dissect what a soulmate is. A soulmate is another soul you made a contract with before incarnating on this planet as a human. And you and this soul agreed upon how you were going to serve one another during this incarnation. Common contracts that we can see is you'll sign up to come into a soul's life to teach them how to be a better person. And once that contract is over, you're going to skedaddle on out of there. Another contract we can see is someone comes into your life, triggers a spiritual awakening, and then leaves. What you will find is that soulmates oftentimes actually come in, do something grand, and then get on out of there. They don't necessarily stay forever. Some do. Some soulmates will stay forever, but not all of them. And when you start lying to yourself and saying, I thought they were my soulmate, but they left my life, so they must not be. No. You're just not deciphering which kind of soulmate this was correctly. What kind of soulmates might you come into contact with? The number one type that you probably already have had contact with if you're listening to this podcast is the soulmate that triggered your spiritual awakening. Someone that caused you so much pain that you had no other choice but to look for a God, to look for self-help tools, and to start to realize that the nature of reality that you once believed in is actually a bunch of mumbo jumbo. For me, that was my ex of 7 years. When he left my life, I felt so destroyed because all I did was give my power away to him, honestly. And in giving my power away, I learned that only I had the power to give my power away. And no one can take my power away from me. I can only unconsciously, willingly give it up. I can only sell it. And if you want to take your power back, first of all, let's take a moment here to say, I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now. I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now. There are going to be some people who come into your life and cause you so much strife that you have no other choice but to realize you are more than this human, that you are capable of so much more than you previously have thought. To me, this is one of the most special connections that we have in our life. And just because someone triggers our spiritual awakening, it doesn't mean they're going to stay forever. They served us. They have did their job. They have come on in and they showed us a mirror of who we are and who we could be. And then they left. I think there's something so hard about understanding that just because someone comes into your life and gifts you a spiritual awakening, that they're not going to stay forever. Like, as humans, I feel we have trouble with letting things go. I feel we have trouble with recognizing when a contract is over. There is this book called Astonishing the Gods. And yesterday when I was listening to it, the author was talking about how there was this dying bird. Okay, birds keep coming up in this podcast episode. You are getting your wings. You are about to take flight. You are going to be soaring to heights that you never thought were possible. Oh, girl, buckle up. In this book, there was this bird dying, and the spirit guide was telling the main character, you can either give the bird life and heal it, or sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is just kill the bird. Let it die so it can release this pain. And the bird was making the most awful, awful, awful noise. And the main character was saying to the spirit guide, I don't know what the bird is crying for. I don't know if it wants life or death. I don't know what to do. And the spirit guide just said, the bird is literally saying, give me life or give me death, but just do one of these things. And it really made me reflect, because we sometimes think that, oh my God, I've been through so much trauma with this person. I've been through so many ups and downs. I have to keep them in my life forever. Sometimes the most gracious, most loving thing you can do for you and this other person is to give the relationship death and end it. It went through its natural cycle. Why are you trying to hold on so tightly? I really think this stems back to anxious attachment. Oh no, if you leave, am I capable of being on my own? And instead of being in this relationship out of love, I'm being in this relationship out of fear. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's not serving you. You want to walk around this little planet in fear? You're going to be dead one day. I'm so sorry to say it in that manner. You will be dead one day. Your life is short. The journey's short, all right? You gotta go balls to the wall, and you need to walk on this planet like God himself sent you here, because, oh, wait a second, he did. You need to go for everything you want and more in this incarnation. You condensed yourself into 3D reality, and now you're gonna walk around scared? You are connected, deeply tied into divinity, and now you're gonna walk around this planet scared? You have God-given abilities to manifest, to create, to have free will and choice. And now you're going to walk around this planet scared? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand that. So if that is you, you have to have a come to self moment and say, wait a damn minute. Life is short. I have so much power within me. It might be difficult to let someone go, but sometimes the most gracious, most loving thing I can do is to give a relationship death, to let it go, because the soul contract is simply done. And what do I want to say? What I want to say is, when you know, you know. When you know, you know. You know when it's right, and you know when it's ended. You know when you want to be there, and you know when it's time to let it go, so you can allow either space to be with yourself, time to recollect your energy, or maybe another soulmate to come in. The first type of soulmate is the one that triggers our spiritual awakening, the one that you probably already experienced. The second type of soulmate is the one that teaches us, ooh, I can have more. When I say no to less, I say yes to more. This is bringing a memory back to me. I dated one specimen, and he was so smart. He had his own business. He was really successful. He was interested in conspiracy theories. He knew about numerology. We had the best convos. And he showed me, wow, there are amazing people that have similar interests to me out there that I'm going to be attracted to, that are successful, that are in their masculine energy. He showed me that more existed. And while you meet this type of soulmate, this soulmate is still not meant to stay, because they're also going to show you what you don't like, how to fine tune your desire. Contrast always leads to clarification. I see so many of us get tripped up, but they were so much better than who I had before, so I must stay. Better doesn't mean they're the best. Better does not mean they're the best. Say it with me. Better does not mean that they're the best. No, it does not. Just because someone's better than what you have experienced doesn't mean they're the best that you're going to be able to receive. They might be your bridge to more confidence in what you can attract. They might be your bridge to realize that there's better people out there for you. They might be your bridge to show you, okay, I'm getting clearer on what I want, but there's still a couple of things that I need to fine tune within myself before I really receive the soulmate that's going to be forevermore, before I receive the soulmate that's going to be the person that really stays with me through it all. This type of soulmate, I would say, isn't as intense as the one that awakens you spiritually, but they are going to really gift you confidence and ultimately gift you discernment. Because when I was dealing with this specimen, I found out that there was a lot of great things, but all that glitters is not gold. And they ended up holding more of a counterfeit energy than true blue energy. And I require someone who is true blue. So this furthers the awakening process. Okay, now I have to learn that on the surface, things might look great, but I need to give things time. I need to dig in deeper. This specimen, this soulmate showed me that I can't just look at what is being shown to me. I need to use my intuition. I need to use my discernment. I need to really ask my higher self, what am I feeling right now? I need to look at my dreams, because I literally was getting dreams that this person had black, oily insides. And then I started to see their true colors come out more when they couldn't meet my needs, when they didn't really respect that I too am a human and have an opinion. So the second type of soulmate is the one that really gifts you discernment. They show you, yeah, you can have more of what you want. You're getting closer. They're a bridge to more, but there's still that counterfeit energy. And you have to rely not on what your 3D is showing you, but on your own intuition. You have to correspond with your dreams. So you can ask yourself before you go to sleep, divinity or God, give me eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart full of discernment so I can understand this situation clearly. Then there's going to be soulmates that, they show you your wounds. They will either mimic the dynamic you had with the caregiver you craved love from the most. So let's say you really craved love from your mother, but she was a workaholic. She never really gave you the time and the attention that you desired. So what are you going to attract in your adult intimate relationships? You will attract someone who's either avoidant, an alcoholic, has some sort of addictive behavior, a workaholic, someone who's always womanizing other women instead of giving you the necessary respect that you deserve. We will come into contact again and again and again with our wound mate, as I would like to call it, instead of a soul mate, to really push us to realize that it's not all the people outside of us that are the problem. It's us. If we keep attracting the same type of wound mate, we have to look at ourselves and say, okay, who's the common denominator? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Could it be me? Could it be I? Am I the drama? Am I the culprit? Well, the good news is you are. And the reason why that's good news is because if you're the one who's attracting wound mate after wound mate, it also means that you can shift your energy and start to attract a soulmate of a higher love. Instead of a wound mate, a soul flame. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be grand? Wouldn't that be great? You will consistently manifest the same pattern with just different people, different faces, same energetic, emotional payout. If that's happening to you, I highly recommend taking my Shadow Alchemy course. It's really going to help you transcend that pattern. I kept attracting these nice guys, but they had no backbone. They would kind of just do what I wanted or would appease me, but I don't want an NPC that appeases me. I want someone to engage with me. I need someone looking at me, also calling me out on my bullshit. I want someone who I can talk about these deep things with, not always have to be the teacher, the performer. And I was consistently manifesting that over and over and over again. And it wasn't until I really did shadow work that I realized, okay, this is me thinking that I have to do all of the work, that I have to be the constant performer, that I have to be the one to show all my feathers in order to keep this person around because of my own conditioning. And that no longer works for me. I'm not just a good girl. I'm not just a performer. I am so much more than that. Sometimes I'm going to be messy, the mystic. Sometimes I'm going to be mad, the class clown. I am all of these things and more. And when I gave myself permission through doing shadow work activations to be all of myself, I started to attract people who saw all of me too. The next kind of soulmate that you can attract is someone who pushes you back into your proper polarization. And what I mean by that is, for the longest time, I was attracting feminine man after feminine man after feminine man. And they would do things that were masculine on the surface. Like they would pay for all the dates. They would pick me up. They would show up for me in certain ways that seemed masculine. They would want to lead, but underneath it all, they were actually wanting me to lead them. And this went even deeper into not my shadow, but my conditioning around relationships. What I believed I deserved, what I believed I could have. When they were showing up on the surface as this masculine energy, but really embodying feminine energy, they were saying masculine things, but embodying feminine energy, it kept pushing me into a masculine energy. And I would always feel off about this. I would always feel like, oh, this is kind of it. It's kind of right, but it's not all the way right. And my last relationship really pushed me back into my feminine energy. When someone pushes you back into your proper polarization, they remind you that you didn't come this far just to get this far. They are that pat on the back, good job at attracting better, but also a kick in the ass, keep going. You're not allowed to drop your standard. Your higher self is not going to allow you to drop your standard. Your higher self has a grandiose view of your whole incarnation. She knows the places that she's ripped you out of, and she's not going to allow you to stay where you are when she knows you have the capacity to heal on out of it. This last relationship really showed to me that on the surface, again, things were proper, masculine energy, feminine energy, but we were embodying not what we were saying we were embodying. It showed me that I have this belief system that I have to work really hard for what it is that I want. And I already knew I had that when it came to my actual career, my business, even my body, like doing extreme workouts. And I really have tried to massage myself out of that and telling myself the more I relax, the more I receive. I don't need to work crazy in order to get good results. So I knew that when it came to my body and my career. However, I subconsciously was doing it in my relationships too. Our limiting beliefs bleed into every area of our life. If you think you're unworthy of one thing in your career, you're probably thinking it when it comes to love too. I was subconsciously saying that I had to be in my masculine energy and work hard to build up the person in front of me to their next level in order to allow myself to receive a higher potential of that person. I was telling myself that I had to build this person up into their masculine energy in order for me to then relax into my divine feminine energy and be worthy of having the type of relationship that I wanted. This goes so deep because even in my phone, my icon for my ex was a little Lego man. And the reason it was that was because there's this funny meme of this Lego with huge arms. And every time my ex was in a tank top, I just would stare at his arms because they were just humongous. And so I had this Lego man as his icon. But when I actually psychoanalyze that, what do you do with Legos? You build them up. Even down to his picture in my phone. Instead of me just putting his picture, I put a Lego man. That's how hard subconsciously I was trying to build the person up in front of me. And that says nothing about him and everything about me. I was wanting to build him up to the next level, to be the person I wanted him to be in order for me to rest into my divine feminine energy and say this relationship is right. I am so effing done with that. I am never building someone up ever again. I will be there for them. I will support them, but they got to already be in their highest form. They got to already be as their best self and evolving, but in a good form, because I'm in a good form. I no longer am going to have the belief that I have to build someone up to be the protector and provider that I want. I can just receive right now, right here, the protector and the provider that I want. I'm shifting into, no, I am deserving and worthy of an already near finished product, just because we're always evolving, but pretty much finished product of someone who's already successful, of someone who already understands energetic law, of someone who already is really in their groove. Not me saying, hey, you should do this or you should build this business. And the one thing I would notice about a lot of the guys that I was dating is they were so interested in my business, in my career, in what I was doing. And that might sound nice, but it really was coming from a, we're going to have to probably rely on you. So what are you doing over there? And that gives me the freaking ick. This type of soulmate will remind you of who you are, will remind you of your power, and will remind you to not settle. The next type of soulmate you can have is the one that you think is everything, the love of your life, the one you want to settle with, and then they end up leaving your life. And I really think this is the type of soulmate that expands your threshold for how much love and joy you can receive. If you've not experienced a masculine energy giving to you, sometimes you need a stepping stone for someone to do that, just so you can get in the energy of love. Because love is not something you chase. Love is not something you have to really look for. Love is something that you embody and then attract more of. Even yesterday, I was sitting on my balcony and I was looking at these two teenage boys, and they were just so happy with each other. They seemed to really love the ocean, and they were surfing, and they loved their little surfboards, and they had this love for one another in a friendship vibe, and they just seemed so happy. And then I looked over and I saw this man throwing a ball at his dog, and he seemed so in love with his dog, and his dog seemed so in love with him. And I was like, wow, that's beautiful. And then I looked over just a little bit to my left, and I saw this couple that lives in my building, and they were just so happy, just watching the waves, watching the sunset, and they were so in love. And I realized once again, because it's this constant remembrance, it's this constant going back home, it's a constant reminder, love is freaking everywhere. Love is everywhere. If you can't see, I'm doing that Italian hand motion. Love is everywhere. It really is. Love is not something to chase, not something to find. It's something to tune into. And once you start tuning into it, damn, do you see it everywhere. I literally was walking on the beach the other day and I started crying just because I love planet Earth so much. And I'm so happy to be here. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. If you're having trouble moving through these seasons, connect to the energy of the dolphin, because the dolphin, like the star system, Sirius A, Sirius B, dolphins were considered wise counsel. And apparently in my past lives, I was convening a lot with the dolphins. And dolphins, when you tune into their energy, they help you swim through life. And because I'm in Florida, I'm really connecting to water, and now more specifically my Sirian connection to Sirius A. And I'm tapping back into that dolphin energy of, it's fun to create. It's fun to be in this energy. It's fun to see how far I can go. It's fun to use my freedom of choice to choose how I want to walk through this realm. It's fun to pick to feel good and broadcast that energy. It's fun to create and swim through life and get more of what it is I truly desire. As you're moving from one soulmate to the next, tap into this dolphin energy to help you swim through it all. Overall, there are many different types of soulmates that we can attract, but just know that soulmates are always mirroring back to you something, an aspect of yourself. It could be what you are pushing down, so your shadow. It could be They're mirroring back to you parts of yourself that you want to grow and water within your own vessel. Maybe you're obsessed about their success, but that's mirroring back to you. You actually want to be successful yourself. It has nothing to do with them. This soulmate might trigger a spiritual awakening. They might help you open up your threshold to receive more love, to realize, oh, I can be treated kindly. I've never had this before. Soulmates are there for some sort of teaching. I hope this podcast episode resonated with you. If you want one-on-one guidance, I am a certified life and energy coach and Reiki practitioner, and I offer one-on-one intuitive guidance via Zoom. Just DM me on Instagram and we can talk more there. I'm sending you so much love. As always, the sparkle in me honors the sparkle in you, and I will see you lovelies in the next one. Mwah.